What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the afternoon, and today we're going to talk about, and would never think I'd be saying this out loud, but a nice alternative to Encre Noir. For those of you that are vetiver lovers, that when you saw everybody talking online saying, Encre Noir is an OG, this is amazing, the whole Encre Noir trio, Noir Sport and La Extreme, these are incredible, these are super slept on, the perfumer is amazing, what they put together for the price point of 30 bucks. If you are one of those guys like me who you went to go get a sample of Encre Noir and you had high hopes, but then when you smelt it, how earthy, how dark, how inky it was, and you were like, what the heck am I gonna wear this for? You might have been maybe intrigued to the scent profile because it's not something you're going to smell every day. But then when you finally thought of the practicality of it and said, man, what the heck am I going to use this for? What's the case scenario for it? Well, I have an alternative fragrance for you today that will make answering that question a lot easier. But before we get into all the details, run that intro real quick, please. Again, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me in the scent bubble. And today, I feel like it's a special video because it definitely threw me for a curveball. I never thought I would see the day when I would find an alternative for me to Encre Noir. Now, like a lot of you guys, I have smelled OG Encre Noir Sport I have in my collection right here, and I've tried the Ala Extreme. Now, first and foremost, I know I'm going to get ganged up on this video. For all my vetiver / Lalique lovers out there who just swear by that line of fragrances, I'm going to break some hearts today because I'm going to point people to another alternative. Now, I, to this point, don't know of an alternative that is in the same exact inspiration of the note breakdowns that are found in Encre Noir, the Sport, and the Ala Extreme. I know of alternatives that are in the realm of those profiles, but none that are fairly one-to-one with a slight twist. Until now. I was at Burlington today, and a lot of times when you're at these discounters, you'll come across dupes and clones. And I came across what appeared to be a clone of a fragrance I never thought I would see, which is Encre Noir, the OG version. And the reason I knew is because the bottle looked like this. It was unmistakable. As soon as I saw square conventional bottle, square wooden top with Noir in it, I immediately thought to myself, there's no way this is a clone of Encre Noir. And so I immediately pulled out my phone, started searching the web, and there was almost nothing written about this fragrance. This is from the house of Milestone Perfumes, which a lot of you have seen if you've been in discounters because they have many fragrances, and this is called Bois Noir Pour Homme. Couldn't find almost anything. There was, I think, one guy on YouTube that had reviewed the fragrance, but because I was in the department store, I didn't want to sit around and listen to the whole video. And a lot of times I feel like an idiot watching a YouTube video about fragrance standing in front of a fragrance shelf. And so I tried to find a couple of forums and stuff, and I found one person who said, wow, what an incredible alternative to Encre Noir. And I was in quite utter disbelief because, I was hesitant. But then I saw the price point. This was in the store for $12. Now, I don't know about you, but the Encre Noir OG is typically between $20 and $30, more so after shipping, leaning on the $30 to $35 price point. And rightfully so. Again, I've smelled this fragrance and I appreciated what it provides to the community. However, I don't know of a use case for myself where I would enjoy it. And I tried to trick myself into believing that I could find use for it. But at the end of the day, for me, it was too inky, too dark, and, it wasn't an inviting fragrance. For me, just because a fragrance has intrigue doesn't mean it belongs on your skin. Like, I do think that there's a huge component to fragrance rocking where a large part of it is self-expression. Sometimes people like wearing a fragrance that makes them feel good and they don't care how you feel. And to that, maybe a fragrance like ENCRE Noir is certainly a fragrance that's an option for you. Some people might argue with me and say I've gotten compliments from this. I have yet to see a YouTuber claim that they've gotten compliments from it. I've only heard of people who have worn this and had people question what the heck was in the room that they were standing in. And that's okay, man. I mean, to each his own. Rock what you rock. I definitely put respect on its name for the I am a vetiver lover, so I appreciated the earthiness, the inkiness. It definitely had intrigue to it, something I was intrigued to smell in the air, but again, wasn't for me. Now, so with me telling that story, you might say to yourself, well, why in the heck would you buy an inspired by fragrance then? Well, I love fragrance, and it's rare that you come across a clone type of fragrance that you respect. Definitely in the inspired buys category, I have plenty of fragrances sitting on my shelf that I got nothing but love for, and they've been life-changing because they've allowed my nose to get deeper into the world of fragrance. But I didn't have high hopes for this, but I still wanted to cop it because I said, you know what, I would never buy the OG ENCRE Noir, even though I, again, have tried the authentic version of it via sample. But I would pay $12 to say I have this note profile in my collection for a rainy day, just to kind of appreciate what it is and to smell vetiver in a different light. I'm just into it like that. So I copped it, and to my surprise, let me show you guys something real quick. Let's switch windows. Again, I'm going to try to make this video pretty short, but if we look here at ENCRE Noir, right, it's fairly linear, right? Cypress up top, vetiver in the mid, and then in the base, we have cashmere wood and musk. So, you know, a little bit of greenery and earthy up top with that vetiver, and then sitting on some woods and animalic, which I think mostly just kind of provides a earthiness and a darkness to the fragrance. But for some odd reason, to my nose, it smells sweet still. So, you know, to the inkiness, there is somewhat of a sweetness, but it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 2 or 3. But now let's look at Bois Noir. This is the only breakdown I could get of it, but it's hilarious how close this is. I'm going to read from this description here. The fragrance is created in praise of wood. Its fresh and woody top notes come from naturally aromatic cypress, similar to ENCRE Noir, and its stimulating core, which is the mid, combines mysterious notes of vetiver, bourbon, and Haitian vetiver in the warm and enveloping base notes of cashmere wood and musk. So it's got the same base, the same top, and in the mid, in addition to varying vetiver, it doesn't say here, it says notes of vetiver, but then it specifies that it also includes both bourbon and Haitian vetiver in the mid. And let me tell you how that contributes to this fragrance. Real quick, can I test strip this? Okay, so this is a new strip. Let me hit this twice, and let's hit it on the other arm because I filmed another video today. To my surprise, and this is the beautiful thing about fragrance, is everybody's on their own unique journey. For me, what immediately I noticed when I got in the car and tried this on is, wait a second. You know, I expected to smell same vibes, dark, inky, earthy, vetiver, linear to the core. To my surprise, when I smelled this, I did get the darkness. I did get soft, smoother vetiver. Actually, I don't want to say smoother because ENCRE Noir is very smooth. But I got this sweetness, almost like a sweet woodiness to it. And at first I thought, is this the cashmere? But I don't really know much about cashmere. Let me look at the note here. Can cashmere wood be sweet? Hold on a second. Let's look on the window here. So it's musky woody. Okay, so it's not saying it could be sweet, but let me tell you kind of how I put this together. So I was smelling this sweeter note, and the vetiver was less earthy. So it kind of was more rounded out and more focused on the woods with a little touch of sweetness. And it just was a little more inviting. And so, again, I went back to the description here, and then it all made sense to me. Okay, this, you almost can't call it a clone. It's like 90% of the DNA, right? But then they put this sweet kind of, oak barrel bourbon and Haitian vetiver in the mix, and it changes the DNA where it gets a little less earthy and more sweet, more woody sweet. Now on the dry down, I think it gets a little more musky. The sweetness somewhat tones down, but I think this is definitely a slightly more commercial, more wearable version of ENCRE Noir. It's still down that realm of dark, slightly inky vetiver, but it's a little less inky, a little less earthy, and a little more sweet, while still maintaining the same strand of DNA that's from ENCRE Noir. Couple of quick details, guys. I think this is a 100 ml bottle. Yeah, 100 ml, sturdy little ASMR, nice, decent cap on it. It's secure. Yeah, so 100 ml still maintains the bottle look of ENCRE Noir, the OG version. And it was $12. I mean, you really can't beat that. This would be something I might grab when I'm just kind of, not really trying to bust out and smell like money or put some of my more prized possessions on. I might actually try to rock this on skin and wear it. Again, if you wanted to kind of entry yourself, for vetiver lovers, a lot of people feel that the ENCRE Noir line, the trio line, is nice entry into vetiver. I would beg to disagree that this is actually the more appropriate intro into that fragrance. And I actually feel this is the more wearable fragrance. I don't know how the longevity and projection is, but I know with the OG, people complained of, it not being a very projective fragrance and not an insane amount of longevity, just a couple hour longevity on it. But I think with that type of profile, you don't want to be loud with it. It's mysterious, and it's not the most mass consuming. So you kind of want, if you're the type of person that would rock a fragrance like this, you kind of want it to be just slightly lingering. Like you even want your scent bubble to be fairly small. But I feel like this fragrance might have a little bit more projection and a little bit more longevity just due to that bourbon note. And it's a little more complexity going on with the vetiver. So I think a fragrance like this, you might rock 6 to 8 sprays on the conservative side and ramp up north of 10 if you want to be, loud for the first hour or two, and then just be able to hit more of the 6-hour marker on longevity. Let me think of anything else that comes off top that you need to know about this fragrance. Where could I find it? I found mine in Burlington Coat Factory. Well, it's not called Coat Factory anymore, Burlington. I don't think you'll find this in Ross. You might find it in TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx is known to have a lot more clones and dupes just sitting out on the shelf and being behind the glass. So I would say first and foremost, start at Burlington, then work your way to TJ Maxx. But I think this is a sleeper. I've never seen this fragrance in there. So I would say if you really are interested in trying it, you'll probably find it online just as cheap as I found it. But definitely if you ever run into it, if you're able to get your nose on it, I couldn't because it had the plastic encasing on it. Definitely smell it. It'll definitely provide a DNA that's not currently in your collection. Again, dark, earthy vetiver, inky, but with this one, bourbon's mixed in it. So it's a little sweeter and it's a little different note of vetiver, little less earthy, but still maintains that woody musk vibe in the base. But again, more mass appealing in my opinion. Have any of you guys tried this? My guess is probably no, because I can literally find almost no information about it online. I can find it to purchase, but I can't find anybody talking about it. And there was only one guy that made a YouTube video on it. And that makes sense. In the cheapy world, a lot of people are afraid to put videos like that online because they think people aren't really looking for this. But if you're a fragrance lover or you're new to fragrance, this would be an incredible option for you to have. I think it can be versatile in the right scenarios. Definitely a cold weather fragrance. Don't break this out in summer or spring. Maybe cold fall, winter for sure, or just a very cold environment, you might be able to turn some heads with this one. But it's definitely a more enjoyable note profile to me than Encre Noir. Say what you want, guys. Thrash me in the comments. I'm on my scent journey, and I hope you're on yours. But thank you for rocking with me in the scent bubble, again, where we talk about various fragrances of all price points, profiles, and I'm just here to tell you about my journey and what I pick up through fragrance. But I hope it inspires you, and it also informs your decision making as you walk through the world of fragrance on what your nose might enjoy and what can enhance your life. Because I know for me, these are bottles of opportunity, they're forms of self-expression, and they lead to tons of conversation and room enhancing vibes, and they just improve your life overall for me personally, and I hope they can do the same for you. Like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciated what I had to say. Leave any criticisms, as I am a new YouTuber, and I hope to bring you tons more of quality content. You guys have a wonderful, blessed week, and I'll see you on the flip side.